So we'll take some questions and directly to Gurudev and now pass.
Good morning, Gurudev. This is Vishnu, the career Raman from News India Times. So, can you please talk about the significance of the World Culture Festival, consistent with the Art of Living's mission, violence-free and stress-free society? Will WCF focus on ongoing gun violence, and stress, and stress-induced deaths in the United States with WCF?
Yes, yes. Just needs a tap. Yes, of course, our main focus this time, the World Culture Festival, will be mental health issues. Because that's the biggest challenge the world is facing today. Post-COVID, we have aggression on one side and depression on the other side. Societal violence on one side and suicidal tendency on the other side. So we will be focusing on mental health issue, no doubt. And also, you see, artists are 17 times more susceptible to depression than normal people. So here we are giving a platform for the budding artists to come and give them a world platform where they can find that spirit to excel in the field that they are in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome and thank you for this magnificent opportunity to get a little bit of your wisdom. As we all know, humanity is going through challenging times and suffering in all of its forms. You just mentioned depression, anxiety, loneliness is kind of spreading like wildfire lately. And I always wonder, what is suffering? Is it a system glitch? Is there a system error like on the computer, in the human computer? Is it a gift in drag? Is it grace? What is it?
Well, challenges are normal. Challenges beckon a person to expand, to explore more skills from within oneself. But when you're not aware of your potential, it becomes a suffering. Challenges are also a way to express one's valor, one's compassion, one's dynamism, and one's commitment to greater cause. Now, suffering can be taken in these two ways. When the problems are come, challenges are come, you can make it as a stepping stone and move forward. Or you get buried under that when you don't have energy and self-confidence. This is where Art of Living comes into play. We insist on building up one's own self-confidence, one's own inner power, to see how we can reduce the suffering, reduce the loneliness, and create a sense of belongingness in the society.
So when I am in suffering, I tend to linger in any emotion for that matter, right? Because I'm trying to manage it, like manage my anger, my sadness, my loneliness. And when I try to manage it, I bite the hook, I get trapped, and I just get there for longer than I expected. Do you have any recommendations on how to come up quickly?
Yeah, that is exactly what we do in the art. We don't just give them sermons. We don't just give them theories and lectures. We give them practical tools and techniques. We give them those techniques which would help them to really snap out of it quickly.
Namaste.
Kimon Freeman, Henry Black Man of Therapy, representing We Act Radio. We're here in Washington, D.C. We just finished the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington. Martin Luther King said that he came to Washington to cash a check that had been marked insufficient funds. I think he was quoting Gandhi when he later said that the greatest violence is poverty. And he also said that the greatest purveyor of violence today is my own government. What would be the messages that our living in the World Cultural Festival will be bringing to this city who has been marked insufficient funds, who has been labeled the greatest purveyor of violence in the world today, who has the capability to eliminate poverty, not only in this country, but throughout the world, but yet our billionaires are playing in outer space and down the oceans. What would be the message you have to the United States government?
You're right. Our program is almost coinciding with just 1 month after this, that after the Martin Luther King's march to Washington, D.C., which has been there in the history. And he said, I have a dream. Now, Art of Living World Culture Festival will rekindle that dream, rekindle hope in people. Would say, yes, we all have to work together to see a violence-free and stress-free society. For that, we have to take up all the projects which would uplift our society, whether it's eliminating poverty, it's eliminating stress and violence, eliminating the mental distress that our communities are facing, and food security and environmental issues. All these issues will be part of the World Culture Festival. Moreover, give one message to the world: hey, come on, let's wake up and see the whole world is one family. We all belong to each other. When the sense of belongingness is not there, that's when all these issues gets blown up. But when the sense of belongingness is there, together we can resolve the issues which face our society easily.
Thank you. Denise Rowan-Barnes, the Washington Informer newspaper in Washington, D.C. I want to kind of follow up on Kimon's question, but, and there are two, well, maybe four. One, why the United States? Why Washington, D.C.? And why now? And then the final part of that is, when it's on October 2nd, what would you want Washingtonians especially to have experienced that will change lives, that may change lives?
Yeah. No, I will replay this question with another question. Why not Washington? Why not United States? Something which begins here spreads all over the world. We are in the capital. So, and it is most needed here today, when there is so much polarization, when there is so much of violence here. 2.9 mass shootings per day in this country is unprecedented. Nowhere else there is so much violence like that. So, message of peace, message of non-violence is more relevant when there is more violence. Mental depression, yes, it has to come from here. The message has to go from here. 27 veterans are taking their life every day. Every 40 seconds, one person is committing suicide. Don't you think we have to address this issue? And how can we address this? Only celebrations and re-establishing confidence in oneself and bringing that sense of belongingness and togetherness is only solution. See, especially why now is post-COVID. Actually, we would have loved to have this 2 years back, but because of the COVID, we had to push it. So I think this is the time for us to do, and this is the right place to do. Give the message. Because the message from Washington DC will go around the world. And because the world looks up to USA for leadership in justice, in democracy, in freedom, and all those values.
नमस्कार गुरुदेव, हम आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग के थ्रू ही अपनी डे टू डे लाइफ जीते हैं, तो हम चाहेंगे कि आप हमारे कैपिटल टीवी के व्यूअर्स को बताएं कि आजकल की इतनी chaotic और फास्ट पेस्ड लाइफ में हाउ डू यू फाइंड इनर पीस?
Can you repeat the question about this?
Sure. In this fast paced and chaotic life, how do you find inner peace?
That's exactly what Art of Living is engaged. That's your camera. Yeah. That's exactly what Art of Living offers to the world. For the past 42 years, we have been working on well-being, mental well-being, and all that, that is related to it. So, अभी पिछले 22 साल से 42 साल से हम यही कर रहे हैं, लोगों को मानसिक स्वास्थ्य और शारीरिक स्वास्थ्य, इन सब के लिए योग, ध्यान, प्राणायाम, इन सब के जरिए मन की शांति और समाज में शांति के लिए काम करते हैं।
Good morning. My name is Natalia. It's an honor for me to be here with you. Thank you so much. I will ask you in Spanish for my Hispanic community. Personalmente encontré mi propósito de vida a los 40 años. Yo era abogada, trabajé muchos años en eso. Y ahora tengo una fuerte vocación de ayudar a las personas, especialmente a las mujeres, a encontrar su bienestar y salud. La pregunta es, ¿qué le puedes decir a todas aquellas personas que aún no encontraron su vocación y su propósito personal?
Actually, women is a central point of any family, and so she'll become the central point of society as well. And when there is violence in society, it's the women who are affected the most. When there is stress in the family, it's the woman who takes it on all on them, whether it is from the husband, from the children, or from the father. It's the women who are the most affected by stress. Because woman is compassionate incarnate. Because of her compassion, she takes more on her. So it's very important for women to have a robust mindset and a healthy body and healthy mind. That is why we have all these programs which should bring her the much needed strength, inner strength, to stand up to the challenges.
Thank you. Another one. Si tuviera que mencionar 3 pilares o cosas importantes para la salud, ¿estaría incluida la alimentación en ella?
Yes, food, proper exercise, and good attitude in the mind.
Thank you so much.
Good morning. Namaste. Thank you for your wisdom and for being here. My name is Gira Basilis from Tubia Telemundo. And I have a question for you. How can we strengthen our soul? And do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes, today reincarnation is a proven fact. Today reincarnation is a proven fact, and so it is a fact. But what we want to see is right now in this incarnation, when we are here, right now in this incarnation, when we are here, we have to take care of our mind, our body, and our spirit. So, for that, we have to learn how to manage our emotions. Neither in school nor at home, nobody teaches us how to handle the emotions, how to turn the negative feelings into one of positive. This we don't learn, right? That is where Art of Living has 57 different workshops which would help people to be centered and make the spirit stronger.
Thank you so much for when you look back throughout the previous World Culture Festivals across the world and this one, do you think you have been able to achieve the goals for which it was meant? And what other better ways you can do it to achieve better world peace?
You see, Olympics happen every 4 years, 5 years. If you ask someone, what did you achieve from Olympics? Yes, some players will say, yeah, I competed with everybody and I got the gold medal or silver medal. This country got. This is a program which has no competition. We are not having cultural competition and see who is. This is a festival to bring cooperation. This is a festival to bring people together and empower them. It's not a festival where you just call some celebrity artist and they sing and they enthrall the public and they go. This is a platform for budding artists to come together and see how that kid, in fact, excel than what a single artist would do. There is a joy in group performance also. Choir has got its own value, own beauty. And this is what we started. We were the one who were the pioneers of this in India when we started in 2006. Before that, you would have never heard about mass group singing or group playing an instrument or dancing. So that's an achievement. Today, there are many people and even governments and organizations are emulating this. They are into bringing many people on one platform to perform. So, in that sense, yes, we have achieved setting an example of Guinness Book of World Records in many areas, whether it is Mohiniyattam, dawn dance, or 1,000 sitar playing, or 300 bagpipers we had in Bulgaria, or 30 pianos playing in one time in one place was never happened before. That's what we hear. So in Berlin we had 30 pianos and piano players. You usually have one person playing the piano. Like this we have set records on that. Other than that, the achievement is setting an example for people to understand we are one human family, one world family. And we have to keep doing this again and again. See, for the first time on a big stage in India, 150 Pakistanis participated, Israelis participated, people from Syria came and participated, and there was Arabs and Israelis, Palestinians, and there were Russians. People from all over the world were there. This in itself is an achievement, I would say.
Hello, sir. I'm here with the Salvadoran Chamber of Commerce and the Edge on Business podcast. Today's a really special day for me because it's my son's first birthday, and I wanted to give him the gift of asking you this question. And because it is his first birthday, I was thinking of the concept of oneness and how now the unified quantum field theory is telling us that we are all one consciousness, experiencing itself in many different ways. So as I talk to you, I talk to myself and the other way around. But before we can become one with others, we have to become one with ourselves. And so my question for you is, how can we start becoming one with ourselves so that we can then become one with everybody else? Thank you.
Yes. you have touched my favorite topic, meditation. It's a meditation that keeps you in touch with yourself, that keeps you in touch with who you really are. I've been talking on meditation for the last 42 years. Earlier days people thought meditation is not for mainstream public. It must be for someone out there, or someone who goes into recluse, and things like that. But today, fortunately, almost 1/3 of world's population are practicing meditation and yoga. So, first step is to go inward and connect with yourself and get rid of all the stress and tension and all the garbage that we tend to carry, Be done with it. So once you connect with yourself, then you find everyone which is part of it. You don't need to connect. Connection happens only when they are different, you have to connect. But when you recognize the oneness, there is no need to connect at all. It's already there.
Thank you so much for the opportunity for question. Maybe I'll continue in English. What is the biggest one factor that made you so successful? Spreading all over the world. What is the
It's not
secret?
one, it's 3 factors.
3. Okay, let's get 3. I'll short.
Clarity in mind, purity in heart, and sincerity in action.
Very good. Okay, the other one is that when did you get started? What made you start this project? It's like, my goodness, how did you get started with this project?
It's to be wondered rather than answered. Yeah.
It's a wonder.
Guruji,
Yeah.
Namaskar, Dina Bhagwat from ANI. My question to you is about the democracy in India. Often in the West, we hear stories about democracy and its cultural fabric. What are your thoughts about the democracy in India?
See, India is the oldest and the largest democracy. It's the oldest democracy and the largest democracy. Even in small villages where there is only 5,000 population, 7,000 population, there are few booths. And people are coming up and voting. There is a lot more awareness to franchise in India than you can see anywhere else. So in that sense, yes, it's a robust democracy, I would say.
Peace and blessings. My name is Nico Hobson, owner of Goldwing Media. I also formed a nonprofit called Go Green. I'm here to speak on the disproportionate effect that our community here in Washington, D.C., as well as people of color around the world, have been affected by not only mental issues, but also just health issues. And I feel like the fact that the government over the last 50, 60 years affected our foods by putting fast food restaurants and chemicals in foods and things of that nature, and that affects how we are able to mentally adjust and deal within the world. So I would like to know, I have a question after this as well, how the Art of Living Association can work not only with the meditation aspect, but how you can deal with the physical aspect with our gut health and how we're dealing with each other. And on that note.
Thank you for bringing up this question. We are very much into organic food and natural farming. Organic farming, we are very high on that. We have training. We have a completely different trust who is catering for the needs of the farmers and educating them in natural farming in India and in Africa and other places. Of course, here you may not need so much because people are already quite aware about the organic farming and organic food. We're also doing drive to plant trees. In this World Culture Festival, we will be taking about to plant 42 million trees. So far, we have already done nearly 90 million trees. And so now we will be adding 42 million more within this 1 year's time. That's one thing. And then we are going to have eco-friendly food here. Eco-friendly food. And food is part of any celebration. You can't have a celebration without food, basically. So we'll be having 80 different trucks. And in one place in Washington Mall, you can find food from everywhere, from every part of the world. So we will have more than 80 food trucks which will bring food from all different cultures. And eco-friendly food, again here. These are the food that we have requested all the countries to make sure it is all eco-friendly.
I'm also the owner of Go-Go Radio, which is a radio station that represents our indigenous music right here in Washington, D.C. area. So will go-go music be represented at this event?
Yes. Go-go music is very much a part, otherwise it will be incomplete. We are a big brand of go-go.
Thank you. I have another question. How do you see the future of humanity?
I'm very optimistic, and I would say realistic too, because I would say this is high time we must all attend to it and create awareness about our society and make it more happier.
This is Mr. Ting Tong. He's from Yuan Media Group, and he wants to know that he's very excited about the Chinese cultural performance at WCF, including the Dragon Dance and Lion Dance. And he wants to know from your perspective, what is so charming about Chinese culture, and why are you excited about bringing it here to WCF?
See, China is one of the ancient civilizations still very much alive on our planet. Among the many hundreds of different civilizations we had, only few are very ancient and they continue to exist, and China is one among them. And China has its own color, and the World Culture Festival won't be complete without any one of these different cultures. So we are very glad to have a large group of Chinese musicians, dancers come and dance. In the last one when we had in New Delhi, we have 1,000 Shaolin monks who came and performed the martial art too. And then we had 1,000 choir of women singing. So this time we don't have that martial arts, but do we have? We do have Kung Fu. We do have Kung Fu, but not in that big scale. But we do have line dance, which we have added.
Thank you. Hello again. Yesterday, I had the blessing of hearing you talk about anger in such a beautiful and impactful way that I'd like to hear that one more time. It's like the tap on the neck, I need that second tap on my head, so I can really integrate that regarding anger and your definition of it.
The national bestseller now it is here. That book has all the tips for an individual to see how to manage the anger, how to handle or manage people with all different tough attitudes and tendencies, how to manage one's ego, how to get over the argumentative mind, how to get out of the victim consciousness and culprit consciousness. All these secrets are given, all in very simple notes. That's why I call it notes for journey with him.
Another question. Your thoughts on the ISRO Chandrayaan launch and the upcoming launch, that's the Aditya L1. Your reaction to that?
I've already given this, and it's a proud moment for not just India but the entire humanity that we could very successfully, with such short in such short duration and with a small budget. You know, even a Bollywood or Hollywood movie cannot be shot for that. But that less price, an exploration of Chandrayaan has happened, and women power has been very predominant there. So many women have worked for this mission, and that's something that's so touching. It's a very emotional moment that we have landed in Moon, and already we have started receiving the picture, and possibilities are many from this.
And the upcoming mission?
Upcoming mission also they will be successful like they did this one. So when they, just before the landing, the previous day I spoke to Somnathji, the head of the mission, and I showed him all will go well, and all our prayers were with him. Yeah, and for this mission.
Again, events such as this magnitude is not possible without the help of volunteers. So can you please talk about the role of volunteers in WCF?
This whole program, the whole event is driven by volunteers. In fact, the whole art of living is run by volunteers. We have very few full-timers. Rest is all by volunteers, pro bono. And one more thing is, if all these artists had to be brought to a place and made to, it would have cost us billions. But it's the gracious cooperation of all the artists that everybody comes here pro bono. They all want to contribute to the society and uplift the world consciousness. So they're all participating willingly, wholeheartedly.
Namaskar, Gurudev. Thank you so much for doing this. The war in Europe has dominated headlines in the past 1.5 years, right? And one begs the question, how can world learn to live in peace? One, and the second one is the world's oldest and largest democracies would go to election in less than a year from now. What would be your message to citizens of this country and India? What to look for in a leader when they elect their next leader?
Yes, I say WAR, worst act of reason. That's what war stands for. When you talk to both the parties, they would all justify why they are into war. But it is breakdown of communication and perceived threat from the other which has created more conflicts in the world. If a leader is stressed and he is breaking out down the communication or surrounded by just a few people and not open to communicating or seeing the reality truth as it is, then such disaster continue to happen. So self-centeredness and inability to see the greater good and in a longer time, long vision, is all cause of such heinous crimes in the world. So for this I would say that leaders must have a broad mindset, and they should be. Today we cannot say this is my country, I only work for this. You have to think globally. See, pandemic has taught us that it has defied all national boundaries. One thing happening in one country could affect the entire world, and this lesson we must learn from the pandemic, and so see the greater good And no issues cannot be solved through dialogue. This is what we must believe, that all our issues can be solved through dialogue. And the democracy which is coming, I know people are very intelligent, they know whom to choose, whom to select. The only message I would say is, just don't sit back at home and say, all politicians are the same category. What difference does it make if I go vote or not vote? This type of apathy, this type of this type of apathy and lack of initiative, lack of responsibility would be no good. So everyone must go and franchise their vote. And also I would request, especially for Indians, not to go and press that nota. None of the above. There is one category that has been introduced. So when they don't like any candidate, they still go and press that nota. That is as good as not going to vote at all. So I would say everyone should go vote and use your own discretion and keep the hope that don't see that everyone is bad and things are going bad. When you feel that way, you don't get any enthusiasm or spirit to go and have.
Thank you, Gurudev. This is Rima again. Extension to what you just said, finding one's purpose of life is a journey many are on. So what do you think is, how can one discover their true calling as a person, individuals?
Listen to yourself. For that you have to be free from stress. So I would say meditate. When you meditate, you will find what is really true purpose of life. Don't go and ask someone, what's the true purpose of my life? You can discover that, then you become quiet, and then you become calm.
Yes, again, an honor to be here in your presence. Kimon Freeman, we at Radio on the right side of Monkey Avenue. I wanted to know about two of the most disenfranchised countries on the planet, their participation. That would be Haiti and Palestine. We've seen in Haiti basically U.S. military interference, kidnapping of the president, just seeing the president assassinated there. Just what happens to be the first Black republic and also the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. We're also seeing recently the U.S. Congress just denied that Israel is an apartheid state and that the Palestinians are not suffering under that. What would be the ultimate accommodations for the Haitian culture and the Palestinian struggle?
Well, let me make it clear, I don't have solution for all the world's problems. It would be wrong for me to say that, okay, we have the solution. No. But as a volunteer organization, if you ask me, are you active in Haiti? I would say yes. When there was disaster there, it was Art of Living organization who first went there with relief material. If you ask me, are you doing anything for the kids in Haiti? Yes. We run 2 schools there, and we are supporting 2 schools and also helping children to get out of trauma relief. We can give you all those pictures and how kids are feeling so much better when they do the trauma relief programs and exercises, and the violence in the community comes down. As far as Palestine is concerned, yes, we have few teachers, we are doing some work there, but not as much as we would have loved to do it. Because we do not have too many volunteers there, but nevertheless we do have some presence, which I would say is a very small presence. Yeah. And in programs like World Culture Festival, last World Culture Festival, we had a Palestinian group were there, we had Israeli group. See, people to people is what I'm more concerned with. I'm not get involved in the government or whatever their policies or their attitude things are there. That is for people to tell them. Yeah. Thank you.
Great, Dr. One last question.
One last question.
Hace poco oí una conferencia que hablaba de yoga y comparaba a los bebés con yogis. ¿Nos puede contar más de eso que me impactó y me pareció muy profundo?
You see, if you observe a baby from the age of 3 months to 3 years, a baby does all the yoga postures. You don't need a yoga teacher. So, in fact, every human being on the planet have done yoga in the childhood. And that is how we have all grown up. Because that is the way our whole body, all the nervous system and the circulatory system, our endocrine system, everything gets exercised and gets recharged. So, it's only my observation. And that's a fact. You see,